The cat is looking at a real fish. The cat is He is holding an artificial fish. He's holding an artificial fish. She's eating a real egg. She's eating a real egg. He's trying to eat an artificial egg. He's trying to eat an artificial. This insect is artificial. This insect is artificial. This insect is real. This insect is real. They are riding artificial horses. They are riding artificial horses. They are riding real horses. They are riding real horses. She's telling a funny story to her sister. She's telling a funny story to her sister. He's telling his child a scary story. He's telling his children a scary story. I'm listening to a sad song. I'm listening to a sad song. The young man and his girlfriend are watching a romantic movie. They are watching a funny movie. They are watching a funny movie. They are watching a scary movie. They are watching a scary movie. They are watching a sad movie. They are watching a sad movie. They are watching a romantic movie. They are watching a romantic movie. She won the race. She won the race. She won the race. This represents winning the race. This represents winning the race. This is love. This is love. This is love. This represents love. This represents love. This is Japan. This is Japan. This represents Japan. This represents Japan. This is an animal. This is an animal. This represents an animal. This represents an animal. He's reading a biography about the first president of the United States. He's reading a biography of the first. He's reading a biography of the first president of the United States. They are renting a science fiction movie tonight. They are renting a science movie tonight. They are renting a science movie tonight. The family is watching a funny movie. The family is watching a comedy at the movie theater. The family is watching a comedy at the movie theater. She's looking a romantic novel. She's looking for a romance novel. She's looking for a novel. What should we rent tonight? What type of movie? What type of movie should we rent tonight? Oh, I've had a bad day. I want to laugh. Let's rent a comedy. I like movies that tell stories about love. Let's rent a romance. I like movies that tell stories about love. Let's rent a romance. I like watching movies about the presidents. I like to watch movies about presidents. Let's rent a biography. This movie is about the science living on the moon. Let's rent this science fiction movie. Here's a movie about scientists living on the moon. Let's rent this science fiction movie. This is Japan. This represents Japan. This is an animal. This represents animal. He won the race. This represents winning the race. This is love. This represents love. This is Japan. This represents Japan. This is an animal. This represents animal. This is a duck. An artificial duck. A real tree. An artificial tree. This insect is an artificial. This insect is real. They are riding artificial horses. They are riding real horses. They are watching a funny movie. They are watching a scary movie. They are watching a sad movie. They are watching a romantic movie. She is telling a sad story that made her friend cry. She is telling a sad story that made her friend cry. She is singing a sad song that made her friends cry. She is telling a funny story that made her friends laugh. She is singing a funny song that made her friends laugh. What are you reading? What are you reading? I'm reading a romantic novel about a husband and his wife. I'm reading a romantic novel about a husband and his wife. There's a photo of two of them that is very important to the story. There's a photo of the two of them that's important to the story. There's a photo of the two of them that is important to the story. The photo represents the wife's love for her husband, but at the end of the story it was torn. The photo is torn. It represents the wife's love for her husband. At the end of the novel, the photo is torn. It represents the wife's love for her husband. At the end of the story, at the end of the novel, the photo is torn. What happened then? Then what happens? They don't love each other anymore. So he moves to another country. It's sad. They don't love each other anymore, so he moves to a different country. It's sad. He's selling a novel. She's buying a novel. He's not reading a novel. She's reading a novel. What type of movie should we rent tonight? I've had a bad day. I want to laugh. Let's rent a comedy. I like movies that tell stories about love. Let's rent a romantic. I like movies that tell stories about love. Let's rent a romantic. I like to watch movies about the presidents. Let's rent a biography. Here's a movie about sons living on the moon. Let's rent this science fiction movie. I like to watch romantic movies. I like to romantic movies. Maybe she might like to watch this movie. Maybe she'll want to watch this movie. Maybe she'll want to watch this movie. I like to watch science fiction movie. I like to watch science fiction movie. Maybe he'll want to watch this movie. Maybe he'll want to watch this science fiction movie. This insect is an artificial. This insect is real. They are riding artificial horse. They are riding real horse. They are watching a funny movie. They are watching a scary movie. They are watching a sad movie. They are watching a romantic movie. This is Japan. This represents Japan. This is an animal. This represents an animal. This is my favorite novel. This is my favorite novel. It's the story of two people who lived in Russia during the 19th century. It's the story about two people. It's the story of two people who lived in Russia during 19th century. Who live in Russia during the 19th century. Sometimes it's funny, but it can also be very sad. Sometimes it's funny, but it can also be very sad. Although it's very long, I have read it at least 4 times. I've read it at least 4 times. This is a movie about a woman. This is a movie about a woman who found love on vacation, who found love in France while on vacation. This movie is about a woman who finds love while on vacation in France. It's a romance. This movie is about a woman who finds love while on vacation in France. It's romantic. This book is funny. It's a comedy. This book is funny. It's a comedy. He's reading a book about a man who climbed the mountain Everest. It's a biography. He's reading a book about a man who climbed Mountain Everest. It's a biography. They are watching a science fiction movie about they are watching a movie about traveling through the time. They are watching a movie about traveling through time. It's a science fiction. I like to watch romantic movie. Maybe he'll want to watch this romance. Maybe she'll want to watch this romance. I like to watch science fiction movie. Maybe he'll want to watch this science fiction movie. I don't like to watch romance movie. I don't want to watch this romance. I don't want to watch this science fiction movie. I don't want to watch this science fiction movie. Maybe we should watch this movie instead. I read it on the newspaper. I read in the newspaper. That it's funny. Maybe we should watch this movie instead. I read in the newspaper. That's funny. I read in the newspaper. That's funny. Yes, let's watch a comedy. Yes, let's watch a comedy. I like to watch romantic movie. Maybe she'll want to watch this romance. I don't like watch romantic this. I don't want to watch this romantic movie. I don't want to watch this science fiction movie. Maybe we should watch this movie instead. I read in newspaper that it's funny. Okay, let's watch a comedy. I'm visiting in Japan. I'm not a Japanese citizen. I'm visiting Japan. I have a Russian passport because I'm a Russian citizen. Are you a citizen of the United States? Only citizens can vote in this election. Are you a citizen of the United States? Only citizens can vote in this election. I was born in Brazil, so I'm a Brazilian citizen. We are citizens of Mexico. We are tourists in Mexico. We are Japanese. We are citizens of Japan. We are tourists in Japan. We are tourists in Japan. We are tourists in Japan. The boy is wearing the modern clothes. The boy is wearing modern clothes. This is a traditional Chinese shape. This is a traditional Chinese shape. He is wearing the traditional German clothing. He's wearing traditional. They are dancing to modern music. They are dancing to modern music. This is a modern toy. This is a traditional toy. This is a traditional toy. They are singing modern music. They are playing modern music. They are playing traditional music. They are playing traditional music. I like to read ancient. I like reading about ancient wars. I like reading about ancient wars. These two countries has been at peace for many years. These two countries have been at peace for many years. When I was a young man, I helped my country win a war. When I was a young man, I helped my country win a war. These soldiers aren't in a war, there's peace. These soldiers are in a war. These soldiers are in a war. These soldiers are in a war. These soldiers aren't in a war. There's peace. This church was damaged in a war. This church was damaged in a war. People from many countries come here to work for peace. People from many countries come here. People from many countries meet here to work for peace. It's legal to drive a car in the United States if you are at least 16 years old. It's legal to drive in the United States if you are at least 16 years old. It's illegal to drive in the United States if you are 10 years old. It's legal to vote in many countries if you are at least 18 years old. It's legal to vote in many countries if you are at least 18 years old. The police officer thinks that this man did something wrong, illegal. The police officer thinks that the man did something illegal. It's illegal for this man to paint this building. But it's legal for this man to paint this building. But it's legal for this man to paint this building. It's legal to enter your friend's house. It's legal to enter your friend's house, but it's illegal to enter a house and to enter someone's house if they don't know it. It's illegal. It's illegal to enter someone's house if they don't know it. In the past, people traveled by horses. In the past, people traveled by horse. People travel in cars, trains, ships, airplanes now. People travel in cars, trains, ships, and airplanes now. No one knows how people will travel in the future. No one knows how people will travel in the future. In the past, people lived in houses like this. In the past, people lived in houses like this. Now people lived in houses like this. In the future, people live in houses like this. This man is important in American politics. This man was important in American politics. He teaches psychology at a college. He teaches psychology at a college. She's a law student. She's a law student. I study law because I want to help people. I study politics because I want to help people. I study psychology because I want to help people. I study psychology because I want to help people. I study law because I want to help people. It's illegal for this man to paint this building. But it's legal for this man to paint this building. It's legal to enter your friend's house. But it's illegal to enter someone's house if they don't know it. It's legal to put trash here. It's legal to put trash here. It's illegal to throw trash on the beach. It's illegal to throw trash on the beach. It's illegal to drive your car when the stoplight is red. It's illegal to drive your car if the stoplight is green. It's legal to drive your car when the stoplight is green. I'm a Japanese citizen. I'm a Japanese citizen. I'm a law student. I'm a law student. This summer, our government is paying for me to study American law. This summer, my government is paying for me to study American law. So I'm traveling to the United States. We are tourists in Mexico. We are citizens of Mexico. We are tourists in Japan. We are citizens of Japan. I thought you would wear different clothes than we wear. I thought you would wear different clothes than we wear. I thought you would wear different clothes than we wear, but you wear the same clothing. But you wear the same type of clothing we wear here. But you wear the same clothing we wear here. But you wear the same type of clothing we wear here. You are thinking about the traditional Japanese clothing worn in the past. You are thinking of the type of Japanese clothing worn in the past. You are thinking about the type of Japanese clothing worn in the past. You are thinking about the type of Japanese clothing worn in the past. I wear traditional clothing sometimes. I wear traditional clothing sometimes. I thought you would wear different type of I thought you would wear different clothes than we wear, but you wear the same type of clothing we wear here. But you wear the same type of clothing we wear here. You are thinking about the type of Japanese clothing worn in the past. I wear traditional clothing sometimes. This is a modern toy. This is a traditional toy. They are playing modern music. They are playing traditional music. Why are you taking off your shoes? Why did you take off your shoes? It's polite to take off your shoes. In Japan, it's polite to take off your shoes before you enter a house. In Japan, it's polite to take off your shoes before you enter the house. It's part of our culture. What are you studying? Chinese. Why? Because I want to learn more about the traditional Chinese culture, clothing and music. Because I want to learn more about traditional Chinese culture. What are you studying? French. Why? Because I want to learn more about French culture, food, and fashion. This is a traditional toy. This is a traditional toy. This is a modern toy. They are playing modern music. They are playing traditional music. This bird represents peace. This flag represents peace. This drawing is a drawing of a war. These statues represent a war. It's illegal for this man to paint this building. It's legal, but it's legal for this man to paint this building. It's legal to enter your friend's house, but it's illegal to enter someone's house if they don't know it. In the past, people lived in houses like this. Now people live in houses like this. In the future, people live in houses like this. I'm a Japanese citizen, and I'm a law student. This summer, my government is paying for me to study American law. So I'm traveling to the United States. I thought you would wear the different clothes than we wear. I thought you would wear different clothes than we wear. But you wear the same type of clothing we wear here. But you wear the same type of clothing we wear here. You are thinking about the type of Japanese clothing worn in the past. You are thinking of the type of Japanese clothing worn in the past. I wear traditional clothing sometimes. Why did you take off your shoes? In Japan, it's polite to take off your shoes before you enter a house. It's part of our culture.